hear us. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes, indeed. I do see that it's verified on Twitch. Fantastic. Welcome, everyone, to the second installment of the Venture Maidens Presents The Rising Hunger. Woo! Yes, I'm so happy to be here with you all. Fuck. The news about Ruth Bader Ginsburg passing away struck me right hard right as I got home, and so to honor her, I had to make myself a hot toddy in my favorite mug. So this one's for you, Ruth.
Amen.
Everyone, you should honor her legacy by exercising your constitutional rights to protest and vote. Because, by gods, that woman fought for our fucking rights in so many ways, in so many different times across decades of experience. And you know what? If you feel sad or scared or angry, that is fine. Those feelings are valid, and you know what? We're gonna sit here with those, and I'm gonna take your mind off of them, hopefully, for the next 2 hours by scaring your pants off. What better way? Let's be honest. And so, yes, I'm here with the lovely Riana. I'm so excited to get this second one-on-one game going, and of course, these all these episodes are being sponsored by Kobold Press, who wrote this adventure, Empire of Ghouls. And tonight we are giving away a digital copy of the Empires of Ghouls book. Ah. And so if you live internationally outside of the US or Canada, you can enter the giveaway when I launch it in the middle of the episode. And so that's wonderful. You get to see beautiful PDF full of art and neat things and horrible spooky monsters and cool ass magic items. Actually, the origin for the Kenku that I wrote is was inspired by one of the magic items that's in the back of this book. So yes, Kobold Press, thank you for sponsoring us. They are an amazing team of writers. And with that, yeah, I will remind you all that this is a horror stream and that we might get into some themes of cannibalization, of this is definitely gothic horror, so vampires and ghouls and zombies and werewolves are all a major theme. The motifs of darkness and hunger, so strap yourselves kids. I'm your storyteller this evening. My name is Sage, and I am here to lead you on this wonderful journey. Rihanna, tell us about yourself, what you do in the great wide world, and who you'll be playing this evening.
Hello, I'm Riana. I have been playing a lot of tabletop RPGs lately. I wouldn't call myself a professional, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
You profesh, girl.
I, oh, thank you. I am going to be playing a character named Six Killer. She is a Kenku paladin, and I think she's a lot of fun, and I really hope everyone will enjoy her as much as Sage and I have been talking about her.
Oh, yes. Kenku have always been one of my favorite playable species in D&D, and I think they're really neat. So I'm finally excited to see someone play one. And so we begin in the Kingdom of Overhyde, in this huge valley that is nestled between two towering and ominous mountain ranges in the Valley of Mist and Shadow, in which cradles a large city of roughly 1 million people known as Helbron. This city, being nestled in this deep valley in thick forest, is perpetually blanketed by this fog. And so some people have gone their entire lives having never actually seen sunshine break through those clouds. And so Six Killer last month received a letter from a fellow compatriot, someone who used to be under your command when it was what seems a lifetime ago to you now, perhaps. And a letter from Stein, who is a kobold. And after you and Stein had had this incredibly harrowing experience together, you all kind of parted ways for a while, but he tracked you down and sent you this letter telling you about how he's recently joined the Clutch of Null. Null being the guardian of lost souls and a major deity for dragonkind. And so he wanted to share this, wanted to invite you to experience this monthly ritual that the clerics of Null perform in order to shepherd lost souls back home to their final destination so that they may experience peace and rest and not continue to haunt the material plane. And so you arrive in the city of Helbron. It's a bustling city with people going about their daily business. And as you weave through the sort of central marketplace district, and you are bombarded with people hawking wares, trying to, you see people bartering and trying to exchange goods, and you see all these gimmicky taverns, and it eventually leads towards the eastern side of the city, which becomes much quieter. Very pensive as you see these huge stone cathedrals dominate this district. They're cathedrals who are dedicated to each of the sanctioned religions in Oberheide, of being Null, of Kelemvor, of the Raven Queen, of your deity, Urogalan, and all of these deities having in common that their main domain is death, and that death may stay as true death. And so describe what Six Killer looks like. How is she feeling? Is she nervous? How is she feeling seeing this person who she hasn't seen in quite some time?
Okay. Six Killer is a Kenku dressed in very pretty ornate armor. If you're familiar with what she's dressed in context of the lore. Gosh, I cannot talk today. Give me a second to warm up.
I feel you.
She is dressed as a funeral attendant. Someone pretty high ranking at that. She is all black with one scar across her beak, and she is huge, just fucking massive. Like, usually you see Kenku and they're like, you're a head or two above them. No, she is towering over everyone. And she's not scared or nervous in the slightest. In fact, she just looks pretty chill, relaxed, maybe a little bit impressed by how pretty the city is.
Definitely. And Helbron is actually home to these gardens, which are revered across the kingdom as kind of one of the ancient wonders of the world, of these huge park that's it's like a 4x4 mile square. And so it's think Central Park. It is enormous. And so it is it is both a cemetery and gardens for the contemplation of the ephemeral nature of life. And so as you step forward to the Temple of Null, which at first glance, as you are taking in this feature, it's like the mouth of a dark cave that begins to lead down into the earth. Because temples of Null are typically held underground in large cavernous areas. And so, does she wear shoes? Or does she just have her plain bird feet?
She got her big old bird feet.
And so and your feet feel beneath them the changing of cobblestone into the sort of rough-hewn kind of limestone that descends deep into the earth, and you hear the dripping of water come from further in the temple, and you see just at the edge of your vision is a sconce that is lit, that begins to guide your path. And so you step down, and you have to go about 100 or so feet down this long tunnel, deep, but 100 feet, almost not quite straight down, but so there's a deep slope. and it leads you into this huge open cavernous chamber where you see piles upon piles of gold and treasure and items and thrones. And amidst all of this just wealth, you see this articulated dragon skeleton sort of hovering over it. And you see that there are kind of milling about, performing their sort of daily prayers as they anoint themselves with oil and say quick prayer as they pass by the skeleton, are these clerics who are dressed in pure white robes with the silhouetted black dragon skull on the front. And you see that they're mainly dragonborn, kobolds, but you do see the occasional elf or a human or, people of other species, but it is definitely dominated by scaled individuals. So, what would you like to do as you're taking in this scene?
Six Killer will look very longingly at all of the shiny, like just take a big moment to just drink it in. But she will turn to one of the smaller attendants and try to like wave them down.
And yeah, you see this blue skin kobold as you kind of like wave with your. Does she? So, because it's always like a weird thing. Does she have like? Oh, I guess her wings would be like her arms, and then would have like little like claws at the end, or what? What do her arms actually look like?
Boy, that's something I should have asked you.
Canon, decide it now.
All right. Well, she's got like maybe they look kind of weird because they're very long. Like she can glide really well with them, so they've got to be pretty big, but she has them, tucked into her body, and she has there's a species of bird in South America that has claws like on their wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it begins with an H. I think it's something like that. Like she has hands, but they are like on the tips of her wings. Mm-hmm. So when she's not like gliding, then she can just, reach her hands out and
yeah, for sure,
and deal with stuff. So she'll wave them over, and you say a blue.
Yes, you see this small blue kobold who, wearing this little white vestment comes over to you. Hello? What can I do for you?
Hello. Six Killer, sorry. Six Killer looking for, Stein scaled one.
Stein. And you see that this small blue kobold taps a thinking claw against their lips as they mull that over, and they go, Stein is gone. Stein hasn't been here for 3 days. We have been concerned.
What? Where's Stein go?
We do not know. Many disappearances have been happening in the city. We think Stein might have been taken.
Taken? Who? When? What? Stein just wrote letter.
We do not know. Like I said, Stein has been gone for 3 days. We have asked around, but not many people have said much. All we know is he had his usual dinner up at the Rampant Roach and then never came back.
Small scale ones say Rampant Roach?
Yes. It, Kobold restaurant over there. It points with the little claw, like over towards the easterly direction.
Okay. She'll like clack her beak a little, be like, Six Killer, come back. And then she will go to wherever the Rampant Roach is.
Yeah, and you can head back out of this large cavernous tunnel and back into the misty light of like mid-morning day. And all of the buildings here, they're very sparse, they're very spread out. Most of them are these, huge towering temples which dominate the sky. But in between them, you see that there are small sort of residential cottages. You see that there are a couple of barn houses that house sheep and goats and some farm animals and supplies for all of the monks and clerics who live in this area. And you see a couple of restaurants. One of them that is very kind of tucked away behind all of these buildings, like right, just like very towards like the outer edge of the city, is the Rampant Roach, which is this cacophonous, just shambled together pile of planks with a hand painted on sign. And you see that it's almost as if it's been made for kobolds or smaller folk, as you approach the door, like you definitely have to duck through and like bring in your arms to kind of like squeeze in through the door.
Okay. How many people are in there?
You see that there are like 3 people working behind the counter, and then there's about half a dozen people who are enjoying an early lunch.
Okay. Six Killer will shuffle in as far as she can without like being too much of a hassle, and she'll kind of like wave her little hand and say, "Hello, this Six Killer looking for Stein, small scaled one."
And you see this feminine kobold who's standing behind the counter, and just as she's finishing up with a customer after ringing them up and handing them off a little doggy bag of food, and she goes, Stein! Yes, he is regular patron. He comes every day at 6 o'clock after he is done with his evening prayers, and he picks up, he always gets his usual pigeon pie, mashed radishes, tadpole soup, and 3 bottles of mushroom beer. We have not seen him for a few days, though. We are quite concerned.
She'll clack her beak a little and say, when last day you see Stein?"
And she counts back on her little clawed hands. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when he picked up his dinner. His usual dinner of pigeon pie and mashed radishes and tadpole soup and 3 mushroom beers.
Yes. Six Killer thinks this sounds good. Do small scaled one know where Stein live?
He lives in the barracks next to Temple of Knoll. Yeah, that's where they all live. Right next to it. Big tower, big barn building.
Okay. Thank you. And she will shuffle backwards, not turning. She will just shuffle backwards out of the small little
Gotta have
shanty.
to like duck your head under the door.
And then she will head out.
And so you can wander your way back through over to the church, and sure enough, to the temple, and sure enough, you see next to it is this large kind of red and black barn building that has been repurposed to have housing. You think you can see, like, as you look through, like, the barn shutters, you can catch the glimpse of, like, bunk beds on the top floor, but on the bottom it's open air to allow for chickens and goats to wander into a large pasture where you can see that they're grazing, and you see this dragonborn who is wearing these black overalls, who is throwing out feed to chickens and hauling a bale of hay over for the goats.
Okay, Six Killer will again raise her hand and say, "Hello, this Six Killer looking for Stein, small scaled one."
And after as he hails this bale of hay over down, and the goats are yes, we've been quite concerned about Stein. We have put out search parties, but we have yet to find any news. Roughly, I think almost 30 individuals have gone missing in about the past month or so. Stein
Oh,
was a recent disappearance.
oh, this very bad.
Yes, we don't know what this could mean, but surely some darker force is at work here, we think.
Hmm. Hey, side note, Sage, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Anytime there is an NPC that is taller than Six Killer, let me
Okay.
know. Otherwise, I'm gonna imagine her like peering down.
They being a dragonborn tend to be generally about 6 to 7 feet tall. So
Okay, so she might talk up a little bit.
he's actually, yeah, eye to eye with you.
Hmm. That's just for me. That does nothing for the story. Thank you, everybody. Okay. She will nod her head and say, Six Killer. Who is large scaled one?
I am Mateus. I have been a resident here of the Temple of the Clutch of Null for all my life, really. I was dropped off here as a young kid and never really left.
Mateus, large scaled one. What know about goings on? Seems bad.
He lets out a heavy sigh. He goes, I agree. Um, Many of the people have become so very worried about their well-being, about wondering if they will be taken next, that every service and congregation that we have is just full to the scales with individuals looking for a beacon of hope in this dark period. We know not of the source, though. There are only whispers of a coming darkness.
Still sound bad. When people disappear? At night?
I think typically at night, yes. The city, I mean, it is generally fairly dark as he motions with this large clawed hand to the pervasive fog. He goes, but they definitely do seem to be operating at night. Our streets are fairly well lit, but there are always dark corners.
If Stein here, where he get kidnapped?
As I've asked some people around the neighborhood when we began our inquiry, as soon as Stein didn't show up for morning breakfast and prayers, I heard from one of our neighbors here. She is a cleric of the Raven Queen, and she had said fairly, mid-evening, about 9 o'clock or so after it had become fully dark, that she thought she had heard a scuffle outside of her cottage. She did not look to see what had happened. She was tending to her child, but that timing, I think, does make sense with when Stein went missing. He always gets dinner at the Rampant Roach right at 6 o'clock, and then he always enjoys his meal next to on a bench that overlooks the lake that is in in the Conservatory of Cathedrals, our large park here, and
Hmm.
I would imagine probably on his way back from dinner he was probably taken.
Hmm. Mateus, large-scaled one. Thank you.
Of, of course, I are you a friend of Stein's?
Yes. Six killer, no Stein. Long time. Six
And
killer receive letter. And she will pull out like the letter that she's
mm-hmm.
obviously been keeping very close to her. And she says to Mateus, Mateus, large scaled one. Six killer have favor.
Of course.
Six killer will go and get kidnapped. Mateus, large scaled one. If questions about where six killer are, please tell.
And he kind of nods and he goes, "This is certainly a most unusual request, but of if that is what you wish, of course,
Yeah, six killer wishes this.
I bid you safety and well-being then on your objective."
Thank you. Six killer get name from hard work. Six killer will be fine.
And he makes a notion of what would be like the crossing, but for like a dragon.
Oh, maybe like horns or
Ooh, that's pretty good. Yeah, and so he motions and he taps his claws to his horns that kind of sweep back, and he goes, "May the guardian watch over you."
okay. Six killer's patron is Rogalan. What would she do?
Ooh.
Right, Rogalan is the halfling
Yeah,
kind.
Yeah, typically the halfling deity of death, but since the Raven Queen does not accept Kenku to be part of her followers, many Kenku also steer towards Urogalan as kind of like the next most popular option. So
Fair enough.
who?
Mom won't accept our calls. We gotta find a new dad.
Yeah. Stepdad. Step god.
Yeah, step god. But she will do something.
Ooh, I feel like because it's like about like returning to the earth and returning to like fuel future generations. They probably like do like a knock with a closed fist over their heart. It'd be like a
That's
stone
good.
tapping.
That's good. Side note, that's my favorite dance move from Twerp when they play Pale Blue Dot. When you go do 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 do. So that works for me a lot. Thank you.
I love it. Perfect.
Everything comes circle. All right. She will beat her breast, probably clank her armor a bit, and say, "Okay, Mateus, large scaled one. Six killer will see you later."
I pray it be so. And he grabs his bag of chicken feed and keeps throwing it around for all the chickens who you see come up in.
Aww.
And he picks one up very gingerly. And he pets it very lovingly.
Oh. I'll come back for you, Mateus. You and your chickens.
Such a gentle boy. Yeah, you see, he's this he's about 6'5", this black dragonborn with these like shining, like perfect scales that gleam in this sort of diffused sunlight, and wearing these black overalls and boots as he's doing his farm work.
Nice. Okay. I hope he comes back. Yeah, Six Killer is gonna go to the cathedral area that was mentioned. And she's gonna sit down, and that's what she's thinking. Well, if I gotta see Stein, I gotta see where he was taken, and she's gonna get kidnapped.
Yeah, and as you start to step into this huge park, and it is like a beautifully manicured Japanese garden, and it has
Oh.
these like you see this glimmering lake, and you see that being sort of late autumn, there is this wash of red spider lilies that are in full bloom, and there are these flowers with these like very singular stems, but they come up and they have these like little red blossoms that kind of reach up like fingers at the end. And you see it almost makes it look like the park is awash with blood, and you see that these maples have shed all of their leaves, and so that there is this definitely like these red, orangey, yellow maple leaves that are just all over the park, and you see that it is very much in deep autumn. And as you kind of pick through, and it's very peaceful, you can hear the chirping of birds and squirrels as they're going about their, daily fetching of food. And you eventually come to this stone bench, which overlooks the lake. And next to it, you see this naked cherry blossom tree and this very arched stone bridge that curves over a pathway across like a more narrow portion of the lake. And while you're in this little area, why don't you go ahead and make an investigation for me?
Investigation. Okay, let me get her sheet up. It's over here. All right. Let's play Dungeons and Dragons, everybody. I can do this. Okay, investigation. I'm a little stupid, but that's fine. The gods made a big girl, not a smart girl. Right. Oh, it's a 9. No, it's 18 then.
Nice. That's pretty good. And as you're looking through it, being in, this is probably the last place that Stein came to be. And as you're kind of taking a look around, taking in all of the scenery, you notice amidst all of these red spider lilies that you see a small business card, a red business card kind of stomped halfway into the ground as if like dropped haphazardly and stepped on.
Hey, where are my weebs at? Who else knows the significance of red spider lilies? All right.
Also
Let's
known
go.
as, the Japanese name is Higanbana.
They're so pretty. Okay. She's gonna go pick it up. Like little talons. Or big talons, I should say.
And as you kind of pick it up off the grass and you kind of brush off a little bit of the mud that's caked on, you can see on one side it says in black embossed font, Temple of Ecstasies. And as you turn it over to the back, you see that there is a small love note written in ink on it that reads, My dearest Penny, I see all that you could become and so much more, with like a little tilde and then a capital swirly cursive L.
What time of day is it?
It's like about 10, 11 a.m.
Okay. Six Killer thinks to herself, yeah, Six Killer's got time. She's gonna go try to go find if anyone can tell her about the Temple of Ecstasy.
And so as you can depart from this area, begin walking around the park, and you see a human couple who are taking an afternoon stroll, kind of elderly couple that looks like they probably do this every day, and you can flag them down and ask them, how's it that you breached this conversation?
She waves her hand and say, hello, this Six Killer wondering, do old human, are they human?
They are human.
Okay. Do old humans know where Temple of Ecstasy?
Oh, I dare say, Harold would say it's in our bedroom, but that's not a really helpful clue for you, is it? Is it, my dear?
Six Killer, like, kind of like, really like, oh. Oh.
and Harold, you see, who is presumably the human man standing next to this woman, puts his arms around his lady, and he's like, "Oh, Maud, give this poor girl a rest. That's probably not what they're asking." And she goes, "Oh, but no, I'm sorry, we've never heard of that. That sounds like the devil's work. That doesn't sound like something that would be approved of."
Six Killer will like nod her head and she'll say, yes, Six Killer, not too sure about Temple. Six Killer on investigation, looking for it because this. And she'll like show the business card.
And they both squint their eyes, and you see Maud, she's got like half moon reading glasses on a chain, and she puts them on the edge of her nose and goes, well, we've lived here for the better part of 70 years, and every now and then some gatherings will prop up somewhere in the cartways, real dubious stuff, but they usually fall apart not too long ago. But that seems like the good place to start looking. I mean, if you can even find an entrance to there. I've heard they've all been sealed off, though.
Thank you. This very helpful. Six Color wishes long life and happiness in all things.
And you see Harold plants a big fat smooch on Maud's cheek, and he's like, well, we've had it this far. Here's hoping for another 50 more, as he gives her a wink, and she, they get their jog on again and wave you a very pleasant good luck.
Yeah, Six Killer will wave back and just smooth her feathers down and let's get going. She's gonna ask where that place is now. The crack house, you said? The what?
The cartways.
Cartways. I'm so sorry. Hey everybody. I've been playing Final Fantasy Online and crack house just like stuck in with me. The cartways. We're going.
So the cartways. And so how is it that Six Killer would like to try and track this down? Is she gonna try and talk to people? How are you gonna approach this investigation?
They don't have one of those like theme park things that show you where the map is or
The
like
directory.
at the mall. Yeah. Okay. I mean, she would just ask someone. She doesn't know anybody in this city. She'll just hope for the best.
And so as you actually go ahead and make a persuasion check. As you begin approaching random people and asking about the cartways.
Wow, I gave her very high persuasion. This is great. Okay. Don't bite me in the ass, though. That's I can count. 12, 13, 14, 17.
Nice. And then so as you go through, and some people just don't want to be bothered as they're doing their daily chores and errands. But eventually, as you're asking around, you see that this young girl, probably about 9-10 years old, she has taken an interest in you, and as you've been asking people around, she's kind of followed you a little bit, and has been kind of like ducking behind barrels or trash cans, and after you try and flag someone down, but they're just like, oh no, sorry, no thank you, I'm not interested. Or they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any copper to spare. This young girl runs up and she very nervously taps on like your elbow to get your attention.
Okay. I'm gonna roll something real quick. I want to see if she noticed that this child is following her.
Oh yeah, make a perception.
Is that perception? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, this is not a negative. It's a 9.
So it just definitely catches you out of the blue. You had no idea.
Okay. Okay. So she'll like jump up and be like, "Oh, oh, oh, small one."
Sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you. And you see it's 9-10-year-old girl. Her hair is greasy and dirty and pulled into these braids, twin braids, and she's wearing basically just like a dress that was maybe really cute and lovely at one point, but has clearly been worn every single day. She's wearing this kind of blue smock with like just torn and dirty lace at the edges of it. And she like plunges her hands really nervously into her pocket. She's like, I saw you asking around town about the cartways, she whispers to you.
Oh. Six Killer will also whisper, yes. Six Killer asking about cartways.
Yeah, most people don't like talking about them because they're like not really a great part of our past. Some like weird stuff happens down there. But why are you looking for them?
Well, Six Killer have friend in city. Friend wrote letter. Letter come to Six Killer. Six Killer read letter. Decide to come. Six Killer come to city. Friend not there. So Six Killer looking for friend.
Yeah, a lot of people have gone missing. My mom went missing like a week ago.
Oh.
And all of the food was up on cupboards that are really high up, that are too high for me to reach. And I have a little baby sister. And I think I know of an entrance to the cartways if
Oh, no. First, Six Killer come to small child's house where small child live.
Yeah, that would be really great. We're just really hungry. And she sniffs this big like teary sniff, and she wipes the snot out from underneath her nose, which you can see is like crusty and gross. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm just okay. And she'll take your big claw hand, and like she'll take like one finger.
Okay, that's cute.
In her hand, and she'll lead you down back towards a much more, you can see, is clearly the working class residential neighborhood, where it's just a maze of these small stone cottages with these thatched roofs, and you can see that this subtle clouds of smoke from chimneys are kind of filling the sky. And she'll lead you down to one where like you can see that the door is hanging off the hinges, where like the roof has some holes in it. It's like way at the outer edges of the city. And she's like, okay, it's not, oh, I never told you my name. My name's Emily. You were Six Killer? You killed 6 people? Why did you kill them?
Oh, and Six Killer will actually like puff her chest out a bit and say, well, Six Killer, one time, long ago. Not too long, but long ago. Six Killer wield 2 blades. Kill 6 people, same time.
I love her so much. She goes, wow, that's cool.
Six Killer, take name as honor.
You're like really strong.
Yes.
And she'll lead you inside, and you see that it's just dusty furniture that has been kind of shoved. You see that like these moth-eaten blankets have been formed and put together to make like a little blanket for in like the sort of main living area of this small cottage. And she'll lead you into the kitchen, and she'll point to the cupboards that are clearly 4 feet above her head. And she's like, up there, I think there's like flour and bread and stuff, but I just can't reach it. She's like 3.5 feet tall.
Okay. Six Killer will take that down as well as like look through the cupboards and see what else she can get for them. And also she'll like call Uber Eats and like get them like some McDonald's or something. Like just something, God.
Oh God, does she order chicken nuggets?
I mean, crows eat meat.
That is true. That is true.
You know what? Side note, my grandma had just the devil as a little sun conure. God, that thing, her name was Sunny. She was the worst. And that bird would attack you for chicken nuggets. So.
All right.
I just want to know. You warned for I mean, it's not quite cannibalization, but you warned for cannibalization. I'm just letting you know that bird fucking went gaga to eat other bird. So.
Birds are not very picky.
They really aren't.
Most animals aren't, to be honest.
You gotta eat. I get it. But yes, Six Killer would help.
Yeah, and so you can look through and you can find some definitely probably week-old bread. There's some there's some flour, there's some dried beans and legumes and stuff like that. Definitely enough to throw together a meal. You see that there are old stock pots and everything.
Okay. Six Killer will cook something that is definitely edible. I don't know how well of a cook she is. Everyone can decide for me.
I'll make a survival check.
So, survival.
How good of a meal you can throw together.
Okay. 5.
It's food.
Okay. You know what? That checks out. That checks out. That's fine with me. Thank you.
It is sustenance. It's not amazing, but you know what? It'll get you through the day. And so as you throw together something, and you see that this young girl, Emily, she tries to help you chop things or whatever, and then she'll come up as you're stirring the stew or whatever, and she'll show you a doll that she made, that's made out of twigs and corn husks and stuff that she's made little dresses for and stuff.
Oh, that's very nice. Where's the other child?
And as you ask, she goes, oh, she probably just woke up from a nap. I think she's probably hungry too. And she goes and she runs to a different room that's towards the back of the house, and she, brings forth this little bundle that she has cradled in her arms. And you hear this crying erupt from this bundle. And something about it just doesn't seem right. She goes, "This is my little sister, Temperance. She's been," and as she steps back into the kitchen where you've ladled out portions for them to eat, Emily's face seems to suddenly change to become very serious and menacing as her eyes deepen with this red glow. She goes, "We've been so very hungry." And it's her lips curl back just a little bit to expose the sharpened canines and then she readjusts this bundle and pulls back the blanket covering presumably her little sister's face, and you do not see eyes. And that's not to say that the eyes are removed or that they, or anything. There is no space for them. There is only a mouth, which begins to unhinge and reveal the swirling pattern of teeth as it roars at you. And you see emerging from the bundle are these 4 arms that with long white claws that begin to tear off. And you see this, for lack of a better word, baby begins to crawl at you with unnerving speed.
Okay.
We're gonna roll some initiative.
That's good. I want you to know that as soon as the baby roared, Six Killer screeched. Like that angry, horrible bird screech. And she, unfortunately, is very ready for this. Okay.
All right.
What do I gotta roll?
So it's a D20 plus your dexterity modifier.
Oh, it's always dex. Yeah, okay. Sorry, everybody. I've been playing like 3 different systems.
All good.
Okay. Please. That's 13.
All right, so you will have the first move as you see this little bundle of joy, which is actually, so it's about a foot long, and it has 6 limbs, all of which are arms, as it is crawling towards you with, yeah.
Fun. All right, yeah, she's gonna, let's see. I have my scimitar. I just want to see if I have any actions I can roll right now as a paladin. Not really yet. Okay. All right, she's just gonna try and slash at this baby. So roll to hit, which is add a +5. Yes. Okay. Thank you, D&D Beyond. That's. I'm sorry. 7, 8,
No,
9,
again.
10, 11, 12.
Gives me time to pull up my PDF of horrifying monsters.
Thank you. Yeah, she got a 12.
I believe that will hit.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Acrobat. Don't be a jerk.
Oh yeah, chat saying you got 6 limbs. Does this baby have 6 limbs?
It does.
6 limbs means 6 killer. All right. That's good. Thank you, chat.
Yes, a 12 will hit.
All right, let's get that damage. I get 1 d4. I don't know if chat can see how pretty. It's very shiny.
So sparkle.
Using the sparkle die. Okay. What? Is that a 3? Yes. Okay, sorry. It's one of those ones that the roll is on the bottom. Okay. So 3 plus 3, 6.
That's all right. 6 damage. And then anything else on your turn?
Let's see. I have any... Well, I have a lot of actions I can do. Can I ready for my next one?
So it's an action to attack. So on your turn, you can ready an action for if you want to set a trigger. So if you want it to be like when they come within range, I smack them. But so for your actions, you can do attack, dash, dodge, disengage, hide, search.
Can I like shove the furniture so that it's harder for them to try and attack me?
I would say like so you're in this small kind of kitchen area where it's I would maybe yeah I could say yeah you can grab like a couple of chairs and you can just kind of like throw them in front of you as part of your movement.
I just realized it was 666 because I did 6 damage on the sixth one. Baby is 6 killer. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, yes, I want to do that.
All right, and so as you kind of like throw these chairs in front of you to dissuade them from attacking you, you see that this baby easily crawls over the chairs and begins to launch itself at you, and it is swinging with claws out. And it's going to get... Oh, that's pretty good. An unnatural 20 to hit. What's your AC?
18.
And so you shall take some damage from this creature.
Fine.
A whopping 2.
That's fine.
And you see her older sister Emily lets out this big hiss where you see just, these sharp teeth hiding in her mouth, and you see her fingernails kind of lengthen as she runs in around and tries to go in for a bite. And she will miss as she kind of trips over one of the chairs as she's trying to leap up to get up to your height and isn't able to gain any purchase on you. And then it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to keep attacking the baby. The baby.
Bebe.
That's I don't know if that'll hit. Does an 11 hit?
Not quite. 12 is your magic number.
Damn it. I knew 12 was low enough. Okay, that's fine.
And then, so yes, as it is trying to hang on to you for dear life. It's definitely not big enough to knock you prone. Alright. It's gonna go in with its claws. That is a 10 to hit, so it will surely miss. It's trying to like maneuver through your armor, and it just isn't able to find a place where it can sink in its little baby claws. And then her older sister Emily is going to get a 13, and so they are just struggling, clearly just hungry and desperate, and are just not able to get anywhere with trying to bite or claw you. And it is your turn.
Alright. 8 plus 5? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, cool, yeah. And then... I already started using these dice. I don't want to switch it up just yet. That's a 2 plus 3, 5 damage.
Nice. All right. And so you get a pretty good... What kind of weapon are you using again?
Six Killer has a big scimitar and also a shield.
Nice. And yeah, so as you're getting in with these cleaves with the scimitar, and you can see that you are slashing away at this creature, but as you slash it, and you do not see really any blood drip through it, and that definitely takes you off that this thing is probably some kind of undead abomination.
Ah, okay. I gotta go the other way.
And then it is going to try and give you a bite, and surely fail as you like hold up your shield and block off its further advances. And then its sister comes in. Oh my god, wow, this is garbage. She is just trying to claw underneath the scale mail, and is just like her fingers have gotten kind of like locked in the chinks of the mail, and she's just screaming and furious as this petulant child is just screaming at you. Hungry!
Okay. Since this is such a clusterfuck, Six Killer is going to take a moment and say, Six Killer, call God on you! Six Killer, call God on you! Stop!
We don't believe in your gods!
Stupid. Here's a funny thing, guys. Unless I did this really bad, I don't have a spell at first level paladin that would do anything.
Oh,
Unless
yeah,
my
no.
god. Yeah, unless my god, hey, Rogalin, you want to come out and bless me or something? Otherwise I gotta leave.
Yeah, no, being level 1 is rough stuff. And paladins being half casters don't get spells until like 2nd or 3rd level.
Okay. Can I just fucking like keyhole them? Can I just fucking grab them by their necks and like walk out and find someone else to help me deal with this?
Yeah, make a grapple check against them. They're gonna try and like squeeze out of your grab, but
Mhm.
we'll make an opposed grapple. See if you
Okay.
can
Can
hold
I
them by
add
the scruff of
anything
the
to
neck.
that?
So you'll make it with your athletics bonus. So your
Okay.
plus your strength, and then if you're proficient in athletics, you'll add your proficiency bonus.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a good +8. All right. Please, big money. Please, big money. Hell yeah, 17 +8.
Yeah, they got a hot 9. So you would kind of have to like sling the shield back, but you can get one
Mhm.
in each claw, and you could be like, got him by the
Yeah.
scruff.
Yeah, no, Six Killer just has him by the fucking scruff. And she's gonna kick the door open and just go to, I don't know, is there a church nearby? Or can she find something?
Make a perception check.
If not, she's just gonna start yelling, which is, she's good at that. I got a nat 20. I got a nat 20. Is 20.
Very nice. So looking around, you see that throughout the city there have been many sort of like small little shrines dotted throughout the city, and you catch the eye of a cleric who is donned in this black raven feather cloak. And you recognize that immediately as some high-ranking cleric of the Raven Queen, as she is performing a midday prayer in front of this small shrine.
Okay.
And you can go and flag her down.
Oh yeah, yeah. Six Killer's gonna like super hop over there and say, Raven Queen cleric, Raven Queen cleric, Raven Queen cleric.
And you see this alarmed woman, kind of human woman. She turns around. She has this bright pink hair that contrasts against her cloak. Yes. What is it that? Oh.
Yeah, just like holding these like.
Mmm.
What do?
Dump them in the water. And you see
Okay, she
this
will
font
yeet
of
them.
water. And you see the girl is screaming and crying no. And saying, "It's not my fault, I'm hungry, my mom left us, she's really mean, she's trying to hurt us." And as you yeet them towards the shrine full of holy water, and you see that the young girl, she feels the sensation of burning on her skin, and she kind of splashes it off, and she begins to scrabble away. But you see that the younger sibling becomes incinerated almost immediately as this holy water splashes onto its flesh, and it begins to melt into this waxy puddle that's dripping over the edge.
Ooh. But the other sibling is able to get out.
She was able to get out.
Okay.
She
Six
seemed
Killers.
distressed and like it was uncomfortable, but
Mhm.
was scurried away into a pile of crates.
Okay. Six Killer's gonna turn to the cleric and say, "What do?"
What in the name of the lady was that?
Bad child.
And she goes over and she, with a gloved hand, you see, she scrapes a bit of this waxy substance off and rolls it between her fingers and smells it. She goes, oh, the stench of necromancy. Good. Jeez, oh, gosh. Something foul is working here. And where was the other one? Was that a vampire?
Six Killer not know.
If you would like to make a knowledge check, to see if you would know.
Okay, let's see.
Either nature or religion?
Well, my religion should be high if I did this right. Ooh, where's my... No. Oh, because that's tied with intelligence. This is stupid. Well, it's a 7.
Pointy teeth. Probably. Checks
Okay.
out.
Six Killer will shrug and say, small child vampire? Sure. What do about vampire child?
And this cleric, this woman, she goes, if there's one, there is always more. Which means there must be some nest of them somewhere. I'm sorry. My name, it's a pleasure to meet you. You said your name was Six Killer?
Six Killer, yes.
Oh, yes. Hi, I do apologize. This is a lot. My name is Aaron. Vampires. If they have to be hiding out somewhere in the city. If they can't go in the daylight, then they must be hiding underground somewhere, I suppose.
Aaron, pink-haired. Six Killer have question.
Yes.
Where... What is it called? The crack... I'm gonna say crack crows again.
The cartways.
The cartways, okay. Where cartways?
I don't... I don't personally know. I know that many of the entrances were sealed off about 300 years ago after an incident in which many of the noble people got turned into zombies.
This city have many problem.
And she just looks at you with this expression of, like, fuck, don't I know? And she says, well, I mean, it's been relatively quiet in the city up until about a month ago when all these people started going missing, but...
Yes, that's what Six Killer look for. People.
Yes, you know, when I was passing through the Conservatory of Cathedrals the other way on my way to prayers in the afternoon, I saw this hooded individual, and they had stepped into one of the ossuaries that are within the park, and as I looked past, I saw them step inside and everything, but as I walked past, they were not in there anymore, and I have an inkling that might be some sort of secret entrance to something. I can show you there if you would like.
Six Killer's gonna look or at the crate area, be like, what do small vampire child?
I suppose we could try and chase after her. And she begins to try and look around to see if she can see any tracks leading off or anywhere.
Oh, was it like crates in front of something? I thought it was just like, when you chase a rat into like a corner.
I mean, basically, yeah, she had scurried off away and trying to like hide, and maybe she's scurried off somewhere after that. Maybe she's just hidden there. What would you like to do?
Well, I wanna know more about the mystery more than this, but can we call like a guard or something over? And be like, hey, there's like some shit in the crates. Like there's some stuff going on. Y'all haven't been doing your job. Can you get on that, please? Thank you.
Yeah, and so as you are in Lower Helbron, as you go head towards like a small meeting place that's in the middle of this district, and just off of this sort of like town square area, you see that there is a building called the Guild of Investigators. The woman will explain to you, as Aaron will explain to you, that there isn't like an official like police force or town guard, but for things that do happen in the city of like robberies or murders, they're the investigators who seek to solve what's happening. And so yeah, she'll lead you over there, and if you'd like to file a report.
Okay. Six Killer file report. Small vampire child.
And so you see, it's this young woman who she has this shaved sides and this sort of pompadour hair and wearing a white button down with suspenders and high-waisted houndstooth trousers. And she's like, a vampire. A bona fide vampire in the city.
Yes. Six Killer say this.
And she like takes out she like chews the end of her quill in her mouth and is like, okay, all right. And where did you say that you saw this vampire?
By fountain.
By
Six Killer
fountain.
kill other worst child.
Worst. You killed a child.
Bad child. Whole face teeth.
Okay, so some kind of
This one saw.
abomination. And Aaron will speak. Yes, it was terrible. It was some sort of unholy monstrosity. It was no humanoid creature I have ever seen.
Yes.
Okay.
Aaron Pinkhair see. Aaron Pinkhair shove child in water. Water melt. Bad child. Worst child.
Okay. Holy water, effective. Vampire, monstrosity. All right, and like it's like taking down all these notes as you rattle off the encounter that happened. And you see this woman, she has just dark bags under her eyes and is looked like she has been up for easily 2 days with minimal sleep.
Six Killer thing. Guard person. See this a lot.
It's just another mishap to add to the long list of missing persons cases that we're trying to solve. And she says in this very like monotone, dead, rehearsed voice of like, I appreciate you coming forward with your information about the goings on in the city, as she like slow blinks.
Ah, ah. Six killer hope guard person. Have better days.
She slurps back some dark coffee that you can see grounds floating on top of it. It's like, me too. Let me know if you encounter any other strange activity in the city.
Mm, mm. Six killer's gonna like guide Aaron off and walk a bit and say, guard person no help.
Oh, you're telling me. I mean, if they were any good, they probably would have figured out all these missing people's cases.
Hmm. Hmm. Six killer. Hmm. Six killer at problem. What's six killer do now? Bad children, bad people in city. Six killer looking for Stein small scaled. Six killer not know what to do.
Oh, is someone you know missing as well?
She'll like clack her beak a bit and say, yes, yes, six killer receive letter. Stein small scaled. Say come here. Six killer come here. Stein small scaled not here. Signs point to cartways.
And she goes to, like, with a hesitant hand to like give you a comforting pat on the shoulder, and she goes, "I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, if my hunch is correct, we may be able to get into the cartways and maybe figure something out. Uh, do you want to come check it out with me?"
Six killer will nod, but then she'll say, Aaron, pink hair, Raven Queen servant, okay with six killer?
And she kind of smirks and she says, "I do not pretend to know my lady's logic or will. I merely seek to do professed works in her name. And while she may not be accepting of any of you into her flock, that doesn't mean that I need be any less courteous."
Six killer will like throw her head back a bit and make a very strange sound in the back of her throat that you would realize is her like laughing. Like and she will say, Aaron pink hair raven servant, six killer, thank you. Six killer have one more question.
Of course.
Aaron pink hair, not bad zombie vampire thing. Six killer trusts small children. Six killer get attacked.
And she kind of laughs a little bit, and she opens up her mouth like she does, like a really big, like big toothy show of her mouth, so that you can see that she does not have vampire teeth. And she goes, "Well, if you are a fellow servant of a divine being, then I think you would be able to tell that I am not of the undead variety. But no, I am not."
Yes, yes. Six killer see that now. Six killer will also like open her beak up really wide. There are no teeth.
And she kind of gives you like a thumbs up and an appreciative smile, and will begin to lead you off towards the back towards the park. And
Okay.
as you follow this, this very lovely meandering stone path through these grasses and these red flowers that are in bloom, and eventually leads you to this small marble mausoleum with this wrought iron gate. And Aaron will say that yes, just the other night, or the other afternoon, as I was on my way to afternoon prayers, I saw this hooded individual enter here, and it's really just stuck with me the whole time, and I can't shake out this image of them suddenly being gone. And she will flip the latch on this wrought iron gate and lead you inside. And inside, you can see that there are five large marble urns situated in front of these portraits of individuals. And from going around like this sort of half circle, from the left to the right, you see the one on the far left is this tiefling wizard-looking individual, as they have this large spell book and are blasting off some huge blinding spell with a wand. The second one next to them, you see this very scrappy-looking female human fighter who's got this brandishing this sword and shield. To the right of her is this elven-looking sort of thief who is like who has a dagger in each hand and is like masked. And then next to the right of the sort of elven rogue is this ancient-looking dwarven figure who is holding aloft a holy symbol to Yurtris, who you recognize as the orc god. And then to the right of the dwarf is this orc who is wielding this big fucking longbow and has this like wolf shape carved behind them. And you see on a tablet is a poem, which I will post in the Zoom chat and in the Twitch chat. These unfortunate heroes met their untimely end. The first to go was one such fiend and friend. The tiefling wizard got caught in a blizzard, and thus started the trend. The longest of life was the shortest of them all, known for bearing beard and maul. When he passed away one rainy day, his family cried and placed his holy symbol upon his pall. Before him to pass was quite a sassy lass, who choked on putrid gas. She knew her death was nigh, and so let out a cry. She was a fighter of all her own class. After the remaining friends made their way out of the snow, they restocked their food and their ammo. Sadly, the forest elf decided to fight a lich by herself, and now the lich reaps what he sows. Next was the subject of a tragic song. The friends carried on and tried to stay strong, but the orc ranger didn't sense the immediate danger, and now to her we say so long. Let me...
Okay. Six Killer will turn her head to be able to see it a bit better, and like you can see her eye like doing that bird thing where it goes in focusing.
Mm-hmm.
She reads it, and then she says, "Words too long. Common words too long. Say too much. This too much. Why words so much?"
And Erin goes, she kind of shakes her head and she's just like, I mean, this has got to be some sort of puzzle, I imagine?
Why? It too much. Orin easy. Orin say things need said. This too much. All right, puzzle. Sage may run to the bathroom really quick before I have to deal with this puzzle.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I can't do both.
Pee and contemplate. Yes, I hope you all are having a fun time. I just posted the poem in the chat for you all to see if you all can suss it out. Along with our six killer here. But yeah, what do you all think? What are your theories? Ooh, what's the Temple of Ecstasy? What's happening? I wanna read your thoughts. Ooh, and remember, I didn't actually announce it on the stream, but remember that our giveaway is open. If you type exclamation point Urogalan, which is the name of the halfling god of death, to whom Six Killer is dedicated, you can get a chance to enter a digital copy of Empire of Ghouls and all of its fiendish glory.
Okay, now we are back. Okay, so let's look at this poem. Yeah, I don't think this is a good temple.
Not a great place.
Fiend and friend. Good and bad. Died first in ice. Which holy symbol is on the second person's?
On the on the dwarf is the symbol of Urtris, which is the symbol of a of
The
this
orc?
long, yeah, of the orc god of death and disease, and his sort of imagery is of this long beaked plague bear's mask.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And as you're looking around, it definitely appears as if the urns are on a sort of track, as if they could be moved along these sort of carved pathways within the marble floor.
Okay, so I'm supposed to put them in order?
It appears so.
Oof.
And
Okay.
Aaron will suggest, oh, maybe we have to put them in the order in that they died?
Uh, Aaron Pinkhair, Six Killer have confession.
Yes.
Six Killer not bright. Six Killer not good at thought. Six Killer will try.
Oh,
But
I'll try to. I mean, these aren't really my thing either, but I'm sure we can come up with something. We've got this.
hmm. Okay. So let's think it out logically. Uh the Tiefling Wizard got caught in the blizzard. So Tiefling goes first.
And you see that that along this sort of archway where you can sort of place all these urns, Aaron moves the tiefling's urn into the initial place to set it.
Okay. And then the longest life was the shortest of them all with Beard and Maul. So Beard and Maul. I don't know. Dwarven healers have mauls, right? And they live long.
Yeah, you can see in the image of the dwarf that he's like brandishing this big fuck off maul.
Okay, so dwarf. She was a fighter in all her own class. So that's either the ranger or the elven rogue. No, or maybe the human. Okay. Okay. Well, let's jump to 4. Um, Forest elf. Okay, so 4 is elf. I skipped 3, I know. And then orc is 5. And then in between is the human fighter. Okay. I guess
Alright, so what tier do we have?
I have tiefling, dwarf, human, elf, orc.
And Aaron will help put all of them into those positions, and nothing seems to happen.
Hmm. 6 killer mess up.
And Aaron will say, "Hmm." And she's like, "The longest of life and shortest of them all." And she thinks kind of out loud, "Longest of life. If we have to put in the order that they died,
Then this one die first?
she's like, maybe the longest of life means that they died last?"
Oh. Aaron Pinkhair. Smart. Okay, so if that dwarf go last? Dwarf go last, maybe? Oh, and family there. Not die in battle.
She's like, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'll put that one last." And she moves the dwarves urn towards the end of the line.
Thing happen?
So that would give us the tiefling, the
Tiefling, human, elf, orc, dwarf.
not quite.
Hmm. Oh. Let elf not die. Elf not die. Elf not die. So tiefling, human, orc, dwarf, elf.
And that doesn't seem to do anything either.
6 killer will caw angrily and loudly. Just a big caw!
And then Aaron looks at it, she's like, "Okay." And she's like, "Well, She's like, "All right, well, let's look at the elf. I mean, it seems like they got raised to be an undead, which, I mean, I guess technically it means that they died. But when did they die? Oh, after they got out of the snow. And the tiefling died in a blizzard, right?"
Oh, second? Second?
Maybe,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, elf go second. Tiefling, elf, human, orc, dwarf.
Tiefling. Oh god. Tiefling. Elf. He said human?
Orc, dwarf, yes.
Not quite. She's like, "Oh wait. After the elf stanza, after the elf one, it says next was the subject. So maybe that one came after the elf. The one who, the orc ranger."
So many words.
She
So
shakes her head.
orc
She's
ranger
like,
comes after orc, or after elf, I mean. Is that it? I'm sorry, what was she gonna say?
Yeah, yeah. She said, well, she says like, yeah, I feel you on the so many words. Um, yeah, the voices at the Orc Ranger probably goes after the elf.
Tiefling, elf, orc, human, dwarf.
And as you all rearrange them, and you hear a junk, and a set of spiral stairs uh, forms out of the tiles within this marble mausoleum, and you see that they descend downward into an unlit area. She goes, oh, we did it!
Oh, oh, very dark. Six Killer does not know if Kenkus have dark vision. Six Killer is looking.
I don't know
Uh,
either. I feel like they would, maybe?
yeah, I'm trying to. Where would I see it? In the thing.
In your
Other
features and traits.
features and traits. I see. I don't see it. Oh no, no, no. I guess not.
Yeah, if you did have it, it would say, like, dark vision out to blah, blah, blah.
Oof. Okay. Well, that's fun.
And this being a human, she also does not have dark vision, and so she will cast light on your scimitar or on your shield. She'll be like, "Here we go. Here's something at least."
Oh, I should say for flavor, uh, Six Killer's shield has the symbol of Urogalan, and that symbol is a dog. You would know it as a black dog, but since it's just on the shield, you see a very lovingly rendered dog on what looks like a road.
Oh yeah, and then she definitely puts it on your shield. Then she's like, "Let faith, light our path." And as she illuminates, casts light on your shield, so you get 20 feet of bright light, and then 20 feet of dim light. And so you all can begin descending down the stairs. And you see immediately you are greeted by the intersection of looking to your directly in front of you is a closed door. To the left, you see this short hallway, which goes into a small T intersection. And then to the right, you see it's a long hallway that bends off to the left.
I guess check out the right.
And so as you head off to the right and you make your way towards, towards this sharp bend off to the left, you enter into this long rectangular room, which has these eight on each side of this long room are sort of bunk beds of coffins and sarcophagi, and you see this sort of middle-aged man in this very beautifully well-made charcoal gray suit who is struggling against some gray hand which appears to be trying to pull him into one of these niches in the wall. And that is where we're going to end this episode.
I was gonna ask, is this person very handsome with kind of a daddy vibe to him?
One would say there's strong dad vibe.
Strong dad vibes. Oh, wow, that's so exciting. That's fun.
Oh boy, so this has been a blast, and oh boy, let's go ahead and pick a winner for this giveaway.
Oh, who gets to win?
And come on now. Where's my little draw entry button? Close, and there we are. Oop. Draw the thing. Do the thing. There we go. Sword Spear! I saw you in the chat, so I definitely know that you are here. Type exclamation point
Wow.
claim in the chat to let us know that you are here, and then send us your deets either on Twitch or on Twitter, and send us your email address so we can give you your PDF copy of Empire of Ghouls. Yes, so this is very cool. Kobold Press is a very, very cool sponsor. We're happy to have them sponsoring each of our episodes this season. And actually, something that I just picked up from them, the Courts of the Shadow Fae. If you all are into courtly intrigue, Courts of the Shadow Fae is a really cool, like, 7th level to 10th level module that you can go through. It has all these neat mechanics of how you would gain an audience for the Queen of the Shadow Fae. But yes, thank you all for tuning in. We will be here next week, same time, same spooky place, from 6 to 8 p.m. PST. Our one-on-one game next week will be with myself and Matt, who is at Kentaro TPC in the chat, who is playing a Shatterkai by the name of Valka Ilford, and I very much look forward to it. But yes, I have been your storyteller this evening, Sage. You can follow me at Staff of Sage on Twitter. I will be here next Friday playing with Matt. I also play your wonderful Kara Brynhilda on bi-weekly Wednesdays on the Venture Maidens main campaign. And yeah, Riana.
And I'm Riana. I've been playing Six Killer. I'm super excited to continue playing her, and I hope you really enjoyed meeting her tonight. I'm DIY Ferret on like everything. So if you'd like to come hang out, talk with me about tabletop or how cute Six Killer is, I hope everyone realizes how cute she is. I would love to talk to anybody. So thank you everybody, and I can't wait to see you not only for the little session zeros we're having, but for that finally when we start that big main campaign. Can't wait to see everybody.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, we have Matt, and then we have Jen, and then on the 5th episode, you all will get to be together for the first time.
It'll be us, Matt, Jen, me, and Willie. So excited.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we will catch you next time, friends. This has been fun. Stay safe out there. Have a drink, have a cry, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Good night.